So the whole stub structure has pretty much changed in MLB The Show 23. There are a couple of big changes that ended up coming with Season 2. There's a ton to talk about today. And we're going to talk about the fastest way to get stubs, kind of the stuff that you can't do anymore, and the best ways to grind in this game. But before we get to this video, make sure you guys drop a like and a sub as we're getting closer and closer to 10,000 subscribers. And let's get right into it. So before we get into this, let's talk about a couple of big changes that make grinding stubs a lot harder. The first one being that they actually turned off the Battle Royale program from being a sellable card at 100. This was a big grind method. One thing that I really recommended before this update was you grind the BR program, you sell the big card, and then you wait like a month or like 2 weeks, and then you end up buying back the card. You can make like 200,000 stubs, especially early when these guys are going for like 300K. But the big thing is now, obviously, that these cards are going to hold a ton of value, because to buy them, you're going to have to actually end up going flawless. That's how you sell the card, and it's the same way with the ranked season rewards, which make it a lot harder to kind of grind stubs and for your real grinders to end up getting stubs by just playing the game. So it makes stub methods a lot more important. You can see that this is a no-sell pack again. So the only way that you're going to end up being able to sell this card is if you make World Series in ranked seasons, not through the program, which I'm indifferent about. I definitely am okay with this a little bit more than the Battle Royale one. But because getting World Series, in my opinion, is a lot easier than going flawless in Battle Royale. It's really hard to go flawless. It's one thing that I've only done 3 times since I've been playing MLB The Show, since like MLB The Show 19. And I know a bunch of you guys aren't going flawless regularly unless you're an absolute goon. The only sellable, grindable cards in the game right now are the event cards, and this has not changed. This shouldn't change, and these guys are actually holding a little bit of value. So this is one way to grind stubs right now, is doing the event. For 10 wins, you're getting 25K, so you're getting about 50,000 stubs for selling these 2 cards. If you want to end up keeping them for the program, that's on you. That makes sense. The set 2 collection is really hard, and these cards will definitely end up helping. But it's 50K worth of stubs that you can definitely take away and end up selling. Now, as far as the best way to grind stubs right now, there are 2 ways, and they're smart ways. It's flipping and it's investing. So there is another live series roster update, I believe, coming this Friday, and there's a lot of cards that haven't ended up going yet that are definitely for sure locks, that are 84s that you guys need to be investing in now. Evan Phillips is one of them that just keeps on absolutely shoving. I think he'll end up going eventually. I mean, he's a main closer on one of the best teams in baseball. The Dodgers still are a best team in baseball, so I think he will end up going. But we did see a lot of guys end up going this update. For example, Joe Ryan, somebody that I put in my last roster update prediction video, he ended up actually going up. He's someone that just is, he was obviously going to go up. He's top 5 in Cy Young voting right now. He is killing it. Yoshida is another guy that's absolutely been disgusting lately, and he'll probably end up getting a bump soon. And Luis Robert's been on an absolute tear with a home run streak. But as far as my bread and butter, what I love to do every single year, my stub method, this will end up getting you about 50 to 60,000 stubs an hour. I have absolutely perfected it, and this is something that I have been grinding for a very long time. If you're a newbie, it's your first time grinding this, it probably will take a little bit for you to get used to it, but you should still be making at least 20 to 30,000 stubs per hour. And this is what I do with a little bit of a help from my favorite companion app in the world, ShowZone. And this is not a segued sponsor. This has nothing to do with sponsor. I'm not getting paid to say this, but this is an amazing website for those grinders who love flipping. There's a genuine thing that says market at the top, and it says flipping. It is awesome. This is so good because it talks about the profit margin, how fast it is moving, and the profit per minute. You can get so nerdy with this stuff, and it absolutely helps. Not a ton of people know about this. For the most part, most of the community does. And so one thing that I will do is I will stay away from the top guys, but you look at the sales per minute, and you look at the profit margin. You're able to make filters for this crap, and you're able to change it. But some of the best things to talk about are definitely, but it'll show you flipping, it'll show you hitters, and it'll show you basically which ones are going to go up for the roster update, who's absolutely killing it, who isn't, who's guys that are going to see bumps. And so it's really good to kind of check these out, and it kind of tells you everything you need to know. I love this website. This website's an absolute beast. And so whenever I'm going over roster update videos, whenever I'm going over the best cards to flip, this is one of the best ways to look. So if you're wondering who you should end up buying, who is selling the most, check this website out. And if you're wondering who's going to go up in the roster update, either check the MLB standings so you can see the fastest stats, or you can also just end up going to this website and looking at all of the cards that are playing well in baseball right now and see their prices on the marketplace all in one place. So it's just a great website. But as far as flipping goes, some of the best things to actually end up flipping are more expensive cards. And so if you're wanting to know some of the best profit margins for some of these, right now you can see Diamond sponsorship is going for a ton. Ian Kinsler is not a bad one. But usually I stay away from those. Usually with the gloves and the equipment, you can actually end up getting 2 to 3 flips per hour. And so sometimes they're a little bit slower, whereas some of the cards you're actually able to get a bigger profit and you'll actually end up getting a lot more stubs. Some of these are really good. The live series cards move a ton, and so those are definitely the fastest ones to end up going. But make sure you stay away from some of the new cards, like for example Stan Musial and some of these other guys. Walter Johnson's one that I don't really know that much about. But the problem is with these is that their price fluctuates since they're new. So whenever there's more cards that end up coming into the market, it usually becomes really hard to end up getting these guys because they don't have much importance. But some of these do, like some of the older ones do. For example, Legendary Call, you can see that's a pretty good flip right now. The thing with this one, it's really important for cat players, and this is always the most expensive like ritual in the game every single year, so it's a great thing to kind of keep in mind. But this is a great tool and a great website to end up using whenever you're trying to find margins, and it's helped me out an absolute ton. So if you're wondering where I get some of these cards, this is where I get it from. But some of the best cards to flip right now are definitely the core cards, just because they are going for so much and they have a lot of value right now. Okay, so one thing that you got to look at whenever you're selling these cards or whenever you're flipping these cards is the reason why core values have a ton of opportunity right now is because of the core collection, and all of these cards actually have value because people are buying up these cards to end up getting that Corey Seager from the collection reward. And so you can see a lot of huge gaps here from cards that aren't used that much. Now, one thing that I will say is that the volume on this isn't that big, but if you're being smart about it, you can actually see Harold Ramirez is an absolute steal of a gap. Anything that's like 5,000 gap is huge. Again, you are going to be taxed from this, but it's a 10% tax. So from that 19,000, you're gonna end up getting 1,900 minus that, which comes out to about 2,000. So you'll make like 17,100 stubs, and you'll end up buying it for like 14.4. So if you end up buying it for 14.4 and you end up selling it for 17.1, you're gonna be getting like 3,000 stubs there, which is huge, which is absolutely huge. 3,000 a flip is great, and if you can get 10 of those an hour, that ends up being 30,000 stubs. I know this is overcomplicating, but this is how you grind stubs this year. One thing that's really helpful too is I will double barrel it. So if you don't know, MLB The Show actually has a companion app that you can get on your phone, and it's really important to kind of have this companion app because whenever you do, you'll be able to actually double barrel and check all of your orders. So I'm able to go through the cards that I'm wanting to buy on my like main monitor, and then I'm able to go through the orders, and whenever I get outbid, I'll get like a notification from the app, and I'll just be checking it over and over again. I can cancel the order on my phone, and then I can put in a new order on my Xbox. It's kind of just an efficient way to do it. So if you're double barreling it, it goes a lot faster. Trust me, it's how it goes. But whenever you're doing this, you want to make it go as fast as possible because obviously time is money, or time is stubs in this point. So this is how I've been grinding it. I've been going about 2 or 3 equipment per hour. So I'll find 2 equipment on the show zone that are moving really well right now. So I'll use that, and then I'll actually end up doing the same thing with player cards, and then I'll end up taking like 2 or 3 that I just see on my own. But again, you're just looking for the big gaps in the core cards because these are really, really good right now because a lot of people are just spam buying these so they can end up getting 99 Corey Seager. I mean, it's so important that if you're grinding Battle Royale right now, you can see that for the program that these silver cards are going for like something crazy like 5,000 stubs for these silvers. So I would definitely take your stubs if you're going through the BR program, just because there are so many ways to go about this. And I know that the core, if you're really wanting Corey Seager, then you can keep the card, but 9,000 stubs, I don't see this staying 9,000 stubs. Maybe it does. It's possible, but I don't see that. I think it's just that there's like an influx. People haven't been grinding the BR program yet, so there's not a lot of these yet. So I would sell them, and you'll probably be able to buy them back. Like a more reasonable price for these golds usually are like 3,000 stubs, but anything above that's just kind of crazy. And so just kind of look around and make sure that you have this taken care of. But it's compiling all of those things, using the MLB The Show companion app, using the show zone, and just looking at the profit margins on this, and then putting in your known buy and sell orders, that I have been able to turn some of my stubs into more stubs, and investing and grinding. It's a lot this year. I know it's a lot this year. If you have any questions in the comment section down below, make sure you guys let me know, and I will try to answer every single comment down there talking about stubs. I know it's a little bit of a complicated method, but I just wanted to show you guys all of the tools that content creators and guys that are at the top with tons and tons of stubs and God squads are using. So make sure that you're looking at all that, asking questions. I will be streaming, I believe, tomorrow night around 7 p.m. And if you have any questions, I'm going to be doing this live on stream. So I'm going to be going over this. I'm going to be grinding this, and so you guys can kind of follow along. So make sure you guys have post noties for that. But I'll talk to you boys later. Have a great rest of your day. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll talk to you boys later. Peace.